Live Laugh Refund? Hello, I'm Fast Lawyer. Today we're going to review Behind the Frame, The Finest Scenery VR, a VR port that was released on all the major VR storefronts September 14th, 2023 by Akapura Games. It normally retails for $19.99, and unfortunately, I did buy this game. Now, I want to make something clear in my review. I actually think Behind the Frame, the original game, the non-VR version, is excellent. It's a cozy little heartwarming game that's perfect for a rainy afternoon. It's more of a narrative-driven experience that evokes feelings of love, of past memories, of treasured memories. It's more of an experience than an actual game, but the game interactions here really do bring the experience together to make you feel a part of this cozy, colorful, inviting world. It's definitely not a game for everyone, but there's a reason why it's rated overwhelmingly positive on the Steam store. It is because it does speak to a lot of people out there. Unfortunately, the VR version was not as well received, and there's a very good reason for that. To put it bluntly, this is a bad VR port. It is sadly among the worst VR ports that I have ever played. This VR port would have been better if they just had left it as a 3D VR 180 experience rather than trying to turn it into a full VR experience. The VR interactions in this game are poorly thought out, they're very basic, and they're also super clunky. This is especially egregious in this case because this should be a cozy, heartwarming game, but instead it's a frustrating, anger-inducing, soul-crushing experience. If this game looks interesting to you at all, I would highly recommend you just buy the non-VR version and forget about the VR version. I don't see how they could possibly fix it at this point. They would have to start from scratch. Behind the Frame VR is running on the Unity engine. On my RTX 3080, I was getting mostly 90 frames per second with a few frame rate drops here and there. I did not experience any major issues or bugs, but I did find the game overall to be clunky. For example, several interactions would take several attempts before they would finally register. Navigating through your sketchbook was a very clunky process. It would take several attempts before it finally get to the tab that I wanted. The interactions in the non-VR version were very smooth and polished, and the animations looked great. But in VR, they were slow, they were clunky, and the animations weren't always there. Things like making coffee looked great in the non-VR version, but here in VR, it just kind of looks silly. I got stuck on several of the puzzles just simply because I thought I had already attempted what it wanted me to do, but later on I found out I just had to retry again doing the same thing until it took. Highlighted objects were difficult to see in VR, unlike the non-VR version, and the way that images were rendered in this game meant that sometimes they were cut off from each other, blocking each other's view. All these issues together just made the game very frustrating to play, and it really took away from the aesthetic and the atmosphere of the game. It's supposed to be a cozy game, a fun game, a relaxing game, and playing this in VR was anything but that. You do have full locomotion along with snap turning available. There are no graphical settings. In fact, other than sound settings and handedness, there are no other settings available. There is no in-game height adjustment, so I found that I was too low to the ground, so I had to physically stand up during some parts of the game. The game does automatically save your progress, so you can continue from where you left off or start any chapter that you've completed. It took me about 2 hours to complete the game, but again, that was dealing with some issues with the game not registering some actions. I think for most people this game will take anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes to complete it. Now, the normal non-VR version normally retails for $13, so I don't know why they're charging $20 for the VR experience, especially in the state that it's in. I do think it's overpriced for what you're getting, especially with the lack of care and polish that was done with this VR port. I can't recommend this game, and if I had to rate it, I would give it a 3 out of 10. It's pretty bad. If this game looks or sounds interesting to you, then I would recommend to get the non-VR version. It is a much better experience. Anyways, I'm Fast Lawyer. I hope you enjoyed this video review. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, have a wonderful day and enjoy the rest of the video.
Aha.